Hello everybody, I'm Jimmy Fasig and I'm here presenting Fasig Brooks Come Back Stronger with my law partner.
Hey, I'm Dana Brooks.
Yes, and so Dana, I just want to say that I really love your outfit today.
Well, thank you, Jimmy. I pride myself on being a trendsetter, being a very original dresser, and I know that you feel the same way. So,
well, what struck me most about it is your stripes match my stripes, so it just shows that we're kind of simpatico.
Simpatico. We're on the same page here on Come Back Stronger.
What are we all about? We are here telling comeback stories. We're here because we are trial lawyers. We are personal injury lawyers, and we help people that have been injured and they've been in accidents, and we try to help our clients create their own comeback stories. Yeah, and so we have today a very good lineup for you. We've got two guests, and the first guest is going to be Ju'Coby Pittman, and the second guest you're going to meet, you're going to love her. Her name is Chef T. And what I love about what I love about all the stories, every single comeback story has some common elements. And what you're going to see, for example, in the first segment is Ju'Coby Pittman, who is, what you'll see is that her pain produced or created or led to her purpose, which led to her success. And you'll see that over and over as we go through these.
And she got kicked down. I mean, she had some real humility and a lot of life lessons that a lot of people just look at their circumstances and say, I guess this is where I end up. And she did not do that. And she inspired me. And as a former social worker, I get the opportunity to meet a lot of these very interesting people. But there's a lot of people who just resign themselves. So this is how it's going to be. And she didn't do that. And then when she found her purpose, it ended up doing so much kind of like what we found in our own lives, in our professions that we've chosen is, you think you're getting into it for one reason, you end up helping so many people. And
and that's exactly what Ju'Coby Pittman did. So very exciting stuff. We are going to meet her when we come back. We're giving you a game plan on how you can take back control of your life to not just get back to where you were before you started, but also to come back stronger. This is a tragedy in your life, it's an accident, or it's a loss that you never expected to suffer. But every tragedy carries with it the seed of an equal opportunity. And so our job is to guide our clients to take advantage of that opportunity. And that is the most fulfilling thing that I do in my job. When I give my client that settlement check at the end of the day, if they can walk out of there feeling like they are the hero of their own story and they're proud of themselves because they did what I asked them to do, they took my guidance and they ended up with seeing that light at the end of the tunnel and actually reaching that light, that's what it's all about. Welcome back. Again, Fasig Brooks Come Back Stronger. We have now the opportunity to meet Ju'Coby Pittman. She's going to be interviewed by our law partner, Kimmy Hogan, and you're gonna love
this is a good one.
Kimmy.
Yeah, this is a lot of good information. This is a real inspiration.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where, again, somebody that's going through a challenge or a setback, they need to know that there are resources out there, and Ju'Coby Pittman is the type of person that is bringing those resources to Jacksonville, to the community. She's the city councilwoman for District 8. Can't wait for you to meet her.
Ms. Pittman, you went from public housing to being the CEO of the Clara White Mission. How did you find the resolve to get there?
Well, I just think all of the mishaps or challenges in my life that I wanted to make a difference, and I wanted to be a voice. And a lot of times people complain about certain situations in life, but they're not willing to step up to the plate. And it was kind of like God prepared my journey. I've done a lot of wonderful things. I've served on boards, but I'm not one of those people who are rubber stamped. And so I'd like to make a difference wherever I am. And I think my journey prepared me for the position at Clara White. And then, over my years of working with different members of city council, I wasn't really impressed with some of the things that they were doing.
And is that why you ran?
That's why I ran. And I will tell you, I ran twice. I lost by 1%. I was appointed by the governor in 2018 to serve a 6-month term. And last year in 2019, I was voted by the constituents of District 8 because I've always been a voice. And if I tell you that I'm going to do something, I'm going to do something. So I feel like what I bring to City Council is that I bring the realness and I keep it real. And I also represent the nonprofits where we didn't have a representation on City Council that addressed a lot of the issues that go on, from homelessness to mental health issues. And I could discuss and relate, and it's really all about exposure and sharing. And I'm one of 19 votes, but I feel very strongly about my path and where I've come from, and I feel like I can be a testimony, and that my constituents, they know if I say something that they can count on me. And so my journey has prepared me for City Council, and I am having a blast.
Wonderful. Tell us about what the Clara White Mission does for people in the Jacksonville community.
Well, we provide meals every day to the homeless and low income. Since COVID has taken over our lives, we can no longer serve in the inside of the mission. So we have meals to go.
Wonderful.
Where the homeless could come. We feed anywhere from 300 to 500 people.
Wow.
Every day. We also have a drop-in center where individuals can come and take a shower, get their mail. If they don't have an address, they can utilize the mission as their address. We have veteran housing where individuals who are veterans could come in and live with us until they're strong enough. We're that safety net. So, you can come in for transitional housing, and then we prepare them and stabilize their lives to prepare them to move into our permanent housing, which is right across the street, and we do have it for men and women.
Oh, that's wonderful. So I understand that you have a farm.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, with all the other comprehensive programs that are going on, we now have a farm in the middle of a food desert community, and it's called White Harvest Farms. We've had the farm for about 7 years. Recently, we received a grant to build a big farmers market. It's on
wonderful.
10.5 acres of land. It was a grant that was given by the city of Jacksonville, $1.5 million. And so it would be a training program for the individuals that live in those food desert communities, where they can come, get fresh produce, use their SNAP cards as well. And then we're also providing a training program where individuals could get certification in culinary arts and learn about agriculture and take the skills that they've learned and actually take it to their communities or in their backyards. And we've been teaching kids. We've worked with communities and schools where we've partnered with 9 schools that are in that community. So it's been a continuum of support, but now being able to have a farmer's market in the Northwest Jacksonville where individuals could walk to the facility and learn about how to eat healthy.
And if people want to come to your farmer's market, how would they find you?
Yes, it's located at 4850 Moncrief Road. We have a staff if you're interested in volunteering or making a donation to the farmer's market. You can go to our website at www.clarawhitemission.org.
So our mission, our focus is helping people come back stronger. And it sounds like that's exactly what you're doing at the Clara White Mission.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Do you see a lot of come back stronger stories?
I do, because I am one during my tenure at the mission, and some people know this and some people don't, but at the height of my career, I was diagnosed with a brain tumor. And I thought that my quality life would be over and that I couldn't continue to do the work that I enjoyed so much. And it was at the height of my career, and I just couldn't understand not coming back to the mission. And, you know, my daughter was doing wonderful things. I had gotten previously engaged, and everything was going right in my life. And when the doctor told me that I had to have surgery immediately, I was in surgery for 16 hours. I never thought that I would have the same quality of life and that I would have a second chance. And as I laid in the bed, I thought about, I was always so busy trying to help everybody else get to where they needed to be that I wasn't really taking care of myself. And I told God, if you give me one more chance, I promise I'll do it right the second time. And I share this story because I felt like my second time around was better than the first.
You came back stronger.
I came back stronger with a vengeance. And it wasn't really about me having that job at Clara White. It was really to have a seat at the table and to be able to provide opportunities for individuals that were voiceless.
And you've done
and
that.
I never looked back.
Oh,
And
well,
so,
that is just amazing.
yeah.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today.
Absolutely.
I've really enjoyed getting to know you, and it's really inspiring to hear your story of how you came back stronger and how you're
Absolutely.
helping people do that every day.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Welcome.
Enjoyed being with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, that was awesome. There's so much to unpack from that. We will get to that right after this.
When you come into my firm, you see a lot of faces that look like yours. You see a lot of people that had the same problem before they got to work. You know, a lot of people who left kids with mismatched shoes and have, you know, a lunch bag, you screaming, you know, just because you had an appointment you had to make. You know, we get you. We get you.
You have to go to a lawyer that will understand your story as a woman. Because women have different stories than men do, and that's just a fact of life. And if you're a woman that's been injured, either through a slip and fall or a trip and fall in an auto accident, you have to go to a lawyer that's going to understand what your daily existence was like before, what it's like now, what the injury means to your entire family, and what you need to do to come back and be where you were before, and even come back and be stronger than where you were before. They just need to have the courage to pick up the phone, because we are going to take the burden of this accident or you being hurt off of your shoulders. We're going to put it on our shoulders. So you don't have to worry about it.
Exactly.
You can worry about everything else in your life, but not this accident. We're going to worry about that for you.
Welcome back to Come Back Stronger. We just had the opportunity to hear Ju'Coby Pittman, and she had an amazing story. First of all, she went from government housing to now running the government as a city councilwoman.
That's awesome.
And then she had the story about how she came back from a tumor.
Yeah, I think what I liked about her is she said, listen, you know, I don't have a bunch of chances left. You know, I need to make a difference. I've been taking care of other people. I need to put a little bit more focus on taking care of myself so I can help other people. I always tell people, do you notice the thing about when the airplane runs out of oxygen and the mask comes on, put it over yourself before you help somebody else? You ever notice they don't use men to demonstrate that point? They have to use women to demonstrate that point, because we're the ones who are usually taking care of everybody else while we're suffering. So I'm glad she got that wake-up call, and she was able to inspire our next segment, our guest on our next segment.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we're going to meet Chef T. I cannot wait for you to meet her.
Yeah, she's cute. I love her.
So, Chef T,
That's what everybody
you are
calls
a
me.
chef. How'd you get there?
Well, it was a journey, actually. It started in 2004 with a lot of prayer. I had some quality of life issues, and it took me to the Life Builders Program at City Rescue Mission.
And what is the Life Builders Program?
So it's a recovery environment,
Okay.
And they focus on the 12 steps with Jesus Christ, walking the 12 steps with Jesus Christ.
Okay.
And so after about 18 months in that program, I started praying, and I asked to be given something that I could do with my hands, because I'm kind of book smart somewhat. I could talk to people, but I didn't have a skill. And I wanted something that I could do with my hands that no one could take away from me, and that it didn't matter how much I got paid or what my coworkers were like, that I would love to do it so much that I did for free, but to learn to do it so well that I get paid for it.
Yes, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
So you prayed,
Yeah.
and what happened?
Well, it wasn't instantaneous.
Yeah.
I prayed for about a year, an hour a day actually, and I remembered from my time, what we call wilderness experience,
Okay.
hearing about this place called Clara White. And I went to, I called her my mom. At that time, Miss Valerie, she was over the program at the City Rescue Mission, and I told her about Clara White. And she said that she had heard about it, but she didn't know anything. She wasn't sure. And she did some investigating for me. So I guess about 2 months later, she came to me and she told me that I had been approved to go to Clara White Mission.
So what was it like when you went to Clara White Mission?
It was hard. Because getting up early in the morning, you know.
How early?
Wow. Like I had to be up at 5 a.m.
Wow.
to catch the public transportation to be able to get from McDuff Avenue over to Ashley Street, which is where Clara White is.
Okay.
And so that was an adjustment for me. Being on time was was something that I had a problem with. But the chef at the time, she worked with me, and there was great support staff there, the case managers, and eventually I overcame that. And I started being on time, and I just loved the whole atmosphere of learning something new. It was like about 20 weeks. And we were in class from like 7:30 a.m. to like 3:30
Wow.
p.m. in the afternoon, just like a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
We learned, basic skills as far as sanitation, knife skills, food preparation for 300 to 500 people. We even have done special events for over 1,000 people.
Wow.
For fundraisers like Miracle on Ashley Street, yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. So now, where do you work?
Well, now I work for Clara White Mission. This is my second tour.
Wonderful.
Right after we finished the program, the 20-week program, there was a position that came open as a kitchen manager. And that still small voice told me to apply. Of course, I had to compete against another student that was capable as well.
Sure.
And by him being a male, it was a little bit more challenging because he's more able to do the lifting, because we do get a lot of donations in at the mission. But I think it was the care, the identifying with another person. Being homeless and being disadvantaged and having, quality of life issues, I was able to relate to those people and treat them with care.
The folks that you served at the
Right.
Clara White Mission.
So I ended up getting a job, and it was really nice. It was something that required stewardship, I say, because I went from being part-time to full-time to catering, and it just took me on a nice, great role. I was there for about 4 years,
Okay.
and then I had an opportunity to take my skill on the sea.
On the sea?
Yeah.
Did you get on cruise ships?
I actually became a merchant marine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I went from the mission to the sea.
From the mission to the sea. I love it.
It was wonderful. I've been to places like Hawaii. I've been to Germany. I've been to the middle of the Indian Ocean. Yeah, just cooking on the ships.
All using your hands and using those skills.
Yeah, that I learned at Clara White Mission. Yeah, learning how to cook their batch food, batch cooking, even catering cooking. I was able to take that out onto the ship and do it for, the officers in the Merchant Marines, as well as, my fellow crew members.
That's really, really neat.
Yeah, so I did that for about 4 years as well. And then my father, he became ill. He had an accident on his job, and he is now permanently disabled from that accident.
I'm so sorry.
So that's what brought me back to land. And it's like Ms. Pittman says, once you're a part of the mission, you're always a part of the mission. So as soon as I got back on land, I started volunteering at the mission. at St. John's Episcopal Cathedral when they do their cafe.
Okay.
And it just so happened that there was a position that opened up, and I got invited back.
Now you're back home.
Yes.
Now you're back home.
Yes, I am.
How's your dad doing?
He's doing good. I go see him on Tuesdays. He's in an assisted living facility because, like I said, he's permanently disabled. He can't walk. But he's high spirits all the time, and I'm just happy he's alive.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, you've got a great energy. I can imagine maybe he's got that positive energy too.
Yes, we're like brother and sister a lot of times.
Well, we focus a lot on helping folks come back stronger. And you certainly have a story of how you came and prayed and found a path. And now it sounds like you're doing great.
Yes, I am.
What was it that helped you come back stronger?
I thought about where I had been and how difficult it was for me to be homeless. And it was so amazing to me that the whole time that I was out there in my wilderness experience, I never once went to Clara White Mission. No one ever took me there. And now I know why. It's a special place. And I think it was the fact that someone like me was dependent on me to show up to make the donuts.
And so you said, I got to get there.
I got to get up.
They need me.
They need me. Someone's depending on me to eat today.
That's just incredible. Thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. The Clara White Mission. There's so much to unpack from that. It is just, I love her. Chef T is fantastic. But here's what I would say. Here's what I want to mention about Chef T and also about Ju'Coby. And that is they both had they made a commitment, and it was that there was a moment, I think, in their life. For example, with Ju'Coby, when she said, which she promised to God after she had the tumor, that if she came back from that, she would do it better.
Yeah.
And that was a commitment that she fulfilled, the commitment. But the key is having that commitment.
Yeah.
And that's really a good element to every comeback story. Yeah. Okay, we're going to come back in just a little bit.
Their life has been changed, and this is for real. And so many times it can be a very intimate part of a man's life. You know, something that they don't even want anyone to know they're experiencing, much less do they want to share how it's affecting them. It even feels worse when you don't stand up for yourself. Because you know you can't stand up for yourself among these lawyers and these insurance companies because it's not your area. You don't know. So a lot of times, instead of seeking help, especially maybe from a woman, they just take it, and then that eats on you. You know, people don't lead with their weaknesses, but that doesn't mean they don't exist, and it doesn't mean they don't deserve fair compensation for them whenever those weaknesses and those injuries are caused by somebody else just not paying attention and being careless. That is not your responsibility. It is the careless person's responsibility. And making that person honor their word and honor their commitment to you, that's not weakness at all. That is strength. That is doing the right thing for yourself and for your family so you can walk with a straight back and your kids can look up to you and say, that's my daddy, he takes care of us.
Welcome back to Come Back Stronger. Very glad to have you back. We just had the opportunity to watch a couple of really impressive
those
people.
hit me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so what did you get out of that, Dana? What was your big takeaway?
You know, I'll tell you one thing I got about both of them is their faith. You know, faith is a very important thing. And Chef T talked about praying for an hour a day. And you and your Come Back Stronger group, a lot of the things you talk about are is the power of meditation. And to some people, you know, it's prayer. Some people, a higher power may be the ocean. It could be the universe, Mother Nature. It could be God. It could be a lot of things. But, you know, I think the power of being centered and dedicating that time to, you know, to getting your head right, and giving a whole hour, you know, that doesn't sound like a lot. That's a tremendous amount of time to pray. To look for guidance. And so do you see that a lot of people, their faith or their meditation, or what's the power of that you've seen from all the people you've helped?
Faith is one of the most powerful things that exists in this universe. But here's what I got. Interestingly, from Chef T, was she talked about that still small voice in her head.
Yeah.
And you hear that with a lot of people that have overcome challenges and have great comeback stories, is that they listen to that small voice in their head, because we all have that little voice that is telling us that there's something better for us.
Yeah.
There's always pushing us along for something better. It's a loving voice that says, you can do better. There's a better life for you somehow, some way. And then what she did was, and this is a key element, is that when she listened to that small voice, then she opened herself up to being, to the resources that were available for her, and it wasn't until then that she found the Clara White Foundation. That was cool.
That happens to us over and over again. We will hear this from our clients. They'll say, you know, I had it in my mind that this was it, or, you know, there wasn't any hope, or, you know, I lost my motivation. I hear this a lot.
Yeah.
And honestly, you know, I tell you this, I struggle with that, maintaining a maintaining. You know, I'm like, what's next? Okay, you've done these things, what's next? And again, it could be, that inner voice could be, you know, your inner child sometimes, the one that says, you know, we dreamt about this, remember? We had big dreams, let's don't give up on them. It could be God. It could be, you know, it could be that mentor. It could be you know, that one person who said, I believe in you. You know, whenever you didn't believe it about yourself. So I encourage people, you know, look at the obstacles. They're probably not as big or as great as you think they are. And then find that thing that motivates you. And a lot of times you need to get some external help. You need some coaching. That's what I love about a lot of the people that we're bringing to the viewers
Come Back Stronger group. Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of coaches.
Yeah.
And we're
Life
not, and
coaches.
everybody's like, oh, you know, I don't have a bunch of money. I can't be, you know, hiring, you know, psychologists and coaches and these, whatever. There are so many people who just have so much they want to give back.
Yeah.
And they just overflow with it. So I tell you, people, you know, come to these groups, come to other groups, look at resources.
So
there are some people who will help you.
What Dana's talking about is the Facing Brooks Come Back Stronger group.
Yeah.
It's a Facebook group that we've started, and it's just a bunch of people that are helping people get the best out of life. So it's pretty cool.
Because we don't know, you know, we don't know everything. We could counsel our clients, so we could tell them our experiences. Our other lawyers, you know, Kimmy, Carrie, they can tell you their experiences, and everybody's got a great story. But whenever you cull those together and you gain things from other people, you realize that there's not just one way to get to your goal. There's not just one way to do it, because we all are motivated in different ways. But to me, these two stories were about, you know, faith, belief in yourself. And I love the Chef T when she said, people are relying on me to eat.
I love that too.
So if you've got a Come Back Stronger story, or you want to talk to Jimmy about it, just reach out to us.
Reach out to us, and thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you next time.
I like that people who don't have the money to pay for lawyers, they can come to a contingency fee lawyer, someone like us who only gets paid when we recover for them, and they can go toe-to-toe with giants.
You are actually just coming to us, not paying us anything, and if we're successful in getting you money, we get paid. And the more money we get for you, the more money we get. So our interests are totally aligned.
And it's a wonderful system, because otherwise, how many people can afford to go hire a lawyer by the hour just so they can have their day in court? Right. That would be almost no one. That would mean justice is only available in America to rich people otherwise. But the contingency fee agreement allows everybody to go in on equal footing. It levels the playing field. But to me, it's saying we're equal. Okay, just because you have all those resources behind you doesn't mean I have to take whatever you give me. I've got a lawyer that I can afford who can stand up to you on the same playing field, equal ground in front of a judge, and I will get treated the same way those big corporations will be treated.